Canucks fans, this pod is for you. Just kidding. I don't think you're going to like this more than the last. And I don't know if the Red Wings fans are either.
Are you going in on the Canucks?
I'm not. I actually would be more on the side that we maybe were more disrespectful than we should have been. But I still don't totally disagree with where we put them.
When you look through some of... I just got to say, when you look through some of those comments where they go like... What do you mean? We signed Sam Lafferty, Ian Cole, and they like list up names.
What do you mean? Just 6 signings.
And I get it. They were like to fix the penalty kill and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, you did have a terrible penalty.
I get it. Like every team did something to address something. Not every team.
Yeah, we didn't mean you literally did nothing.
Yeah, no one said no one said you were the St. Louis Blues. They literally didn't do anything.
The best comments though, we just beat the cream of the crop 8-1.
We'll get to it because what we're doing here today, we have 8 gross overreactions to the start of the NHL year. And yeah, that's probably going to be one of them, both teams involved in that fiasco that went on over the weekend.
Couldn't have been worse for narratives going into the first week of the season.
Could not.
Jake Ottinger had a great first game.
Yeah.
Hey.
And how many games have the Stars played?
One.
One.
So as of the time of this,
it's time to overreact.
Yeah, as of the time of this recording, the Stars have only played one game, in case you're wondering about that. But
why don't we list the games played for every single team in the league?
No. In fact, as a result of that, you can start.
I don't want to start.
Yeah, I know you don't. Too bad.
Okay, well, Canucks fans, you're going to have to stick around for my second point later on in the video. That's about you. So
Nice.
My first point, and people are going to hate this. Oh, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Are you that out on the Canucks? I'm not. Anyways.
It was more, we were just dapping up.
I was more just like retention, baby.
Okay.
Keep them around. Here we go.
Nice, yeah. We're here for the pod. So my first point, this is gonna be, I don't know, I don't even know. I'm actually excited to hear your guys' reactions to this because I don't know if it is an overreaction. From a comment made earlier, I think it will be. Like I think you guys will categorize it as one that I think, as a collective hockey world, we may have underrated how good Connor Bedard is. And I think that which is crazy because
This
we've
guy
hyped him up
works
a
for the
lot.
NHL marketing department, and I love it.
He is, I think he's so good. And I think all he needs is some bounces to go his way that I think he's genuinely, I think he's a lock for a point per game this year. And I think, I'm saying pretty much as long as he stays healthy, I'm saying over 82 points this season, which I think his over-under was set at 70 or something like that. And I think
Calder lock, effective, you're saying.
I don't know.
Logan Cooley.
I was gonna say I don't even know if I see that
Cooley.
because one of my other considerations for overreactions is that the Arizona Coyotes have the best power play in the league.
But get to your other overreaction, and clearly you didn't see Zach Benson's pass, so that's fine.
You know what, though, just to add on this, I agree. I'm very high on Bedard, obviously. One thing I've noticed, though, he does actually look smaller on the ice than I thought he would for some reason.
But I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter.
I
it
agree,
doesn't matter.
agree with both of yours. Where I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I see the sizing more, but I mean, it won't matter if he plays well.
Well, and I got a couple stats for you here that he leads. So in terms of so he's second in the league in shots, only behind Austin Matthews, which again, getting shots off in the NHL. We were talking about that today. We had a conversation in our morning meeting where we were like, do you think you could get a shot off
in a period, like a shot on goal?
I can barely get shots off in our beer league.
Well, that's why I couldn't question because
yeah.
When we were trying to shoot, did a going bar down video, and one of the challenges was just hit the goalie in the chest. That was the hardest one for me, where it was like going up the ice, trying to get a shot, knowing everyone is defending it, and then you're in the NHL. Good luck.
We were overthinking it, though. Most of our shots are in the barrel. And then when you think of putting one in the barrel, you just can't put one in the barrel. You're literally scoring goals because you're just like, oh, my God, I need one in the barrel.
Brendan should have missed the net instead as a really patient, well-timed goal.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Someone that relates to a golf thing someone told me one time where I was in the woods, as per usual, and someone was like, if you don't want to hit the tree, aim at the tree. It's like, that's a good idea. And then,
Smart.
A few moments later, oh my God,
Smack the tree.
oh my nuts.
Smack dab in the face.
right in the nards.
Yeah.
for also that Bedard dangle on Klingberg last night and the way he just drove the puck to the net was disgusting.
Yeah, and he's had a couple
Yeah.
moments like that, and so like again, if you wanted to even go deeper analytically, he's second to Austin Matthews in individual expected goals so far, and then if you go 5-on-5, so like just not including power play, which I know people are like, oh, he's playing a lot of power play and stuff. That may be a detractor that you're going to try and do by saying he leads or he's second in the league in shots, but no. If you go to 5-on-5, he leads the league by far in individual expected goals.
Wow.
Like it's something where like no one has above 2 and he's like at like 2.6 or something like that.
The best part is when he's not even on the ice, we still know how he feels too, because the camera's always glued to him when they cut to him.
Yeah.
And
That we'll get to later.
And his family.
And his family.
You have an idea what they'll look like by now?
Yeah, his dad just
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
They
think
seem like
part of
great
the
people.
overreaction too, though, is like people have gone the other way a little online, where I see like, oh, he should be producing more and stuff like that.
Well, so
where- which is the wild part, where it's like he's playing really well. Like, give him some time, okay?
I agree because you said at the beginning when we brought up Bedard, you were like, and no, I'm not saying you think Bedard is bad or anything, but you were saying
I
like,
don't.
yeah,
I think he's very good.
yeah, but I mean, but you were saying like. You suggested Bedard in a way of like, oh, are you gonna go at him saying like,
I thought
he
you were.
hasn't
I only
produced
because
enough?
that. To be honest, I'm glad you brought this up. But just to let you know, it's because of who you are as a person, not at all what my thoughts are on Bedard. I thought you were just trying to go the other way.
No, I love Bedard.
Yeah.
I think a couple things. First of all, Cooley also looks gross.
Yeah.
But one thing we need to remember too, he's also a year older. And I feel like when you're at like that 18, 19, 20 stage,
a big
like,
difference.
A year is
And
huge.
the media attention.
Yeah.
This is impressive.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
to that.
Okay.
It is, and because I think Bedard will be great this year. I think he's going to be unbelievable next year. One thing I'll still say though, from what we've seen,
I think in 3 years he's gonna be even better.
maybe
And
maybe
3 years older.
maybe even at his best in 4 years.
I think he could be better by year 5 than year 4.
There's a good
I think
chance.
What about
he
year
might not
6?
produce as much, but he'll understand the game a bit better.
Let's move on to the second.
No. I was just saying, I know it's a little early, but like maybe it's not fair to do this, but
Do it anyways.
I don't know. You talk about like McDavid and Bedard, and like the more I see Bedard, because I think Bedard's going to be absolutely outstanding. But I'm all, and maybe it's still so early. Maybe this isn't fair, but it's also just making me appreciate how much of a freak McDavid is. Because when McDavid, like, even though he got injured early, he entered the league so fast.
It was instant.
Looked like one of the
it was instant.
Instant.
It was
You
instant.
knew it. Yeah. And I do think Bedard's going to get there very soon, but we've only seen him play 4 games.
Well,
So,
if,
but he'll
if by
get
the
there.
end of that debate, it's like, okay, well, like McDavid, like atop of the hill is the greatest player of all time, and Bedard's like somewhere in between all of the other legends. That's still a great career.
Though
So
they're both going to be like 2 of the best players in the league. I think in like the next 3 years they'll be like top 2.
it's been 3 games.
So maybe that wasn't. So yeah. So wait, is it an overreact? Am I qualifying as an overreaction?
I think
then?
so. I think that counts. And let's move on to the second one. And Jesse, what do you got?
I'm going to beat you to the punch with the Vancouver stuff and bring up the Oilers. Because it's the whole thing was just hilarious in my opinion. How like the first game of the year, such high hopes for Edmonton. No one has any hopes for Vancouver. They absolutely work them 8-1. So funny. And like also like this is why I'm like, is it an overreaction that the Oilers are like not a playoff team? You even saw like Evander Kane talking about it. Like it's just like, oh yeah, 32nd, end of the world. The Oilers will definitely bounce back. I have zero doubt. But at the same time, we are already seeing concerns with the Oilers that we had before the season started, and the reasons why we're hesitant about them in the playoffs at all. And I know it's such a short sample size, but like their goaltending has been horrible, and it's just like, even though we've seen it in 2 games to start the year against Vancouver, is this going to be something that bites them in the ass later in the year? Because it bit them in the ass in the playoffs last year, and we're already starting to see
It's not reassuring, like
It
already
is.
to
It
start
is.
that way.
So I think it's an overreaction to say like, oh, the Oilers are toast. Because some people are just like, this team's garbage. Like they're not. They're going to make the playoffs clearly.
Win the division still? Would you say that?
I think Vegas will probably win the division just based off of what we've seen so far. Is that an overreaction? I don't know. Maybe someone will talk about that later. But like I
wonder who.
but is it an overreaction to say that like the Oilers like might not win the Stanley Cup because of their goaltending? I don't know. To me, it's I would if I was an Oilers fan,
Say it or don't.
I don't think it's an overreaction to say that like the Oilers won't win the cup because their goaltending sucks.
But he won't say they won't win the cup.
No.
Wise, I think. Wise to not say that.
Well, again,
because it's early.
It's been early. 2 games, and it's not like these. That, like I know the Oilers are going to bounce back, but I just think it's already very concerning to see that they've allowed. What is it? 8 and 4. They have 12 goals in their last 2 games.
They were still getting crazy chances in that second game
Yeah.
against the Canucks. It wasn't like they played way better in that second game as far as like what they did well.
They dominated.
They dominated.
The second game.
They dominated.
They have over 40 shots. The Canucks had under 20.
High danger chances like through the roof.
But is
in
that
comparison too?
But is that just the story of the Oilers that their goalies are going to lose them games that they should be winning? Like
Makes yours fair.
It's just so yeah. One thing I will say is an overreaction is that the Oilers are like not going to make the playoffs or be like a wild card team because I think that's ridiculous. But at the same time, when it comes down to like what we talked about before the season, their goaltending, I don't think it's an overreaction to say that the Oilers are not going to make a run because their goaltending is just not good.
Okay.
So you're taking them out of creme de la crop.
You could not get the name of that one right for the life of you.
Like they're probably still in the creme de la crop, but like the bottom of that creme de la crop because their goaltending, they just have not figured it out.
Okay.
They tried.
I don't. This is not all going to be just like massaging what we did for our top tier rankings, but my point is on that as well. Listen, we did our rankings in a way where it's like you want to be excited, you want to go out there, you want to take a shot. And when we put the Sabres in playoffs likely, I'm still excited and I still mentally wish to be there. But my gross overreaction the first 2 games is that we really should have put them in that wild card battle because that's also not an insult either. It's similar to what they did last year as far as they'll be in and around. I still think they'll edge it out, and I still have my hopes that they will make the playoffs. And again, this is a gross overreaction, but those first 2 games, already defensive problems. And one major thing that we brought up, which is just going to be true because like in the history of just NHL goaltending, it's hard when you're a young goalie to come in and just get a full workload and just crush it, especially when defense is one of the biggest weaknesses of your team. Well, like Levi come in there and actually do well, he totally could. And this, again, is a total overreaction, but that's asking so much of a young goalie with the defense that they have in front of them. Like the first line not clicking in the first 2 games, that's fine. They will hum. Zach Benson, man. You got to enjoy him already before. That dude is a player. So I still think that they're firmly like going to be battling for playoffs. It's just when we said they were an absolute lock and we were firing them up, maybe we were a little over ambitious in that.
If I was re-ranking it right now, I'd probably swap them in the Sens because the Sens look legit and they do not. So.
Not every goalie can be Jake Ottinger, you know?
Yeah.
It is an overreaction. yeah. You put Jake Ottinger on the Sabres. Oof. And also for any like Sabres fans asking for Patrick Kane, like stop that.
No.
Anyways, I think they'll sort it out and it'll be fine. They'll be in the wild card hunt, but like maybe we're a little bit high up on them, and we'll be seeing another Winnipeg Ice player pretty soon, probably.
I think he's going to be incredible.
Oh, man.
Boy, he's an unbelievable skater. So good. So dynamite.
And that's another jersey down the drain, by the way, because Golifson out of the lineup. But anyways.
You think permanently?
No, but he's definitely out of here after the year, so.
Wow.
Never should have switched from 68. Luka.
What is he now?
71. It's also a cool number.
Also a dirty number.
Yeah,
dirty
it's a good
number,
number.
but 68's cooler.
68 is cool. All right, let's start with the team that I believe we also placed in either wild card or playoff likely, the Seattle Kraken. My overreaction is that they are going to miss the playoffs completely.
We had them in likely, yeah. Holy.
It's an you said overreaction. I think the overreaction is they've scored 2 goals in 3 games, which is horrible. And I think the biggest problem with this team that when you look at their roster on paper is just like, who's their goal scorer? Like Jared McCann is good. I think we all like Jared McCann, but when you're a good team and you have a lot of depth, if you get into spells like this where you can't score, you need that guy. You need like the Nathan McKinnon or the McDavid or the Hughes to just be like, we're going to score a goal here. And they've been getting some really bad luck. I'm pretty sure they're first in the league in, I think it's expected goals for. Like they have the highest number that has gone their not way. I explained that horribly. But like they've been getting horrible luck, so this could absolutely turn around. But I just think the Pacific is really, really good. And at the end of the day, I trust the star power of other rosters a little more than Seattle's. And I also think like they've been getting good goaltending, but I don't know how much longer Philip Grubauer can keep this up. And maybe it's the defensive structure of this team that maybe that's the thing that's like, it's really good and they're solid, but they also are near the top half of the league. I'm pretty sure they're first in giveaways this season. So it's like, I know it's 3 games. I know it's early. 2 goals in 3 games is never a good look, though.
That's a wild.
Yeah. Is there ever going to be a year where like whatever people think of the Kraken, that's just what their year is? Because I feel like it's
just
inverse.
flip-flops.
Low expectations, and then they do well.
They play the Avs tonight, too, and they're going to beat the Avs for
Their
sure.
first year when they sucked, everybody thought they were going to suck.
That's what I mean, though. Oh,
Yeah,
it sucked?
Ron,
I don't know.
Ron Francis has done a brutal job.
It's already looking for it.
That so far is the craziest one to me. Like you just dropped them 2 spots
full
in
tiers.
our rankings.
I did.
Which, like,
But Luka was not high on Seattle when we did those initial
That's
rankings.
true. That's
I wasn't not high on them. I feel like I think they can compete, but man, I just
This guy sounds like a GM.
Who's scoring goals for this team?
Yeah, this guy's a big star power.
Compete.
Guy.
I love the star
Stars
power.
on his
Isn't it just so weird though how a team could be like so good one year and then the next year they're just already starting to drop off? Like why is it that Seattle was able to get it done last year and now they're just like not scoring at all this year? I guess
But
it's early.
Again,
It's only
the
been 3 games.
I know,
There's-
and that's the thing. Like, if you look at the underlying numbers, the process for them has been great. Like, they are doing everything right other than finishing. But this, I guess, is more just a bet on them not having enough of those guys that can finish.
They were definitely goals by committee last year.
Yeah.
Like McCann, 40, Beniers, 24, Sprong, 21, Schwartz, 21, Bjorkstrand, 20, Eberle, 20. Like, there's a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
To just stick up for the crackheads out there, I still believe in you guys. I think they're.
Got to stick up for
You want an
Kraken.
overreaction, so
You got it.
this is
I
one.
like it. I like you going bold,
Caliente.
but also like.
This one can
disagree.
easily come back and come the other way, but that's okay.
All right, Corwin, next one for you.
What about you?
I already did one.
Did Buffalo?
Oh yeah, true. Okay.
Already forgot about Buffalo. What an ass.
Wow, our retention is about to fall off in Vancouver.
And why? They're going to want to hear what you got to say.
I know,
Just
after
kidding. I'm
this.
sure they won't.
Yeah, they probably
From
won't want to hear
Years of being conditioned
But-
to know you don't like them.
But you know what? Okay, so I have 2 versions of this. Do you want me to go with like the really crazy one?
Yes.
Because this I'll combine 2 of my.
Crazy to find, like, yeah.
Nah,
you-
dude, just go
wait,
nuts, man.
you
I
are
have a
gonna
feeling
be
you're
surprised,
gonna like say something. I'm like, I wish you went with you.
The Canucks are the worst team in the NHL.
No. Again, and like,
Jesus.
by the way, I will say in that first game, that Garland goal was so
Disgusting.
gross. Like I
Don't want him.
I don't know how.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Which yeah.
Did you guys? My buddy Jared sent me this last night. Did you guys see that Milano saucer pass last night?
yeah. To Phillips.
He-
What a
like,
great story
we-
that Phillips guy is, by the way.
We were discussing just like this guy's such a mystery, Sonny Milano. Like
Yeah.
he's got
Lots
all
of
the
talent.
talent in the world. I guess he's not really like the best skater, one of the best loafs maybe in NHL history, and he like he's been a pretty big suitcase. It's just weird. Like guy goes on waivers. Like why isn't anyone picking him up? This guy's full of skill. I don't know.
He's like a full free agent, and just like no one was signing him. Didn't he go on like a PTO to Washington?
Yeah.
Or something like that. That was like,
He's good in Anaheim too.
yeah.
Can't even focus on Vancouver, huh? Can't even gonna slate them.
He changed the subject.
I did.
This isn't me. Okay, so do I want to go for the full one or do I
Go
just
for the full
Okay,
one.
do it.
Like, what's the fun in not going
Okay,
for
so I'll
it?
make a bet then. I'm gonna make a bet, and this is my crazy overreaction. Is that my overreaction is just fully standing by what I said about Vancouver in the first place. That I do not think they're a good team.
We had them just below the wild card in the spot of like bad but not bad enough.
Yeah, because I think they'll probably finish pretty similar to last year. Like they had, I think, 83 points last year, and I would guess they're pretty similar this year, maybe a couple more points or something like that. But I don't think they'll like really be one of the final 2 or 3 teams going for that wild card spot. But my overreaction is I think the Arizona Coyotes will finish above the Vancouver Canucks.
I'm into this.
By reclaiming Connor Garland.
I'm into this because I was high on the Coyotes coming in. Like, I just felt like I liked them.
Yeah.
The Coyotes, they had a great offseason. Like they
Oh,
got
lot of
they are
unbelievable.
Lots
significantly
of
better
moves.
now than they were last year.
Yeah.
Talk about moves, Canucks fans.
So what about
But I know, I'll
talk
put-
about
I'll
the
put my-
unsustainability here for the Canucks?
The
'Cause
Canucks again. I mean, we already said it in the second game. Like you got shelled, and
Yeah.
like don't like.
Yeah.
I think it's fun as a fan. Live it up, enjoy it. Tell me to eat. I don't think like that's the fun part of being a fan, and like I think you should root for them in every way you can. It's amazing to see Brock Besser score four goals. I think again, I love a lot of their players, and I actually
you're the
enjoy-
biggest on Pedersen.
Yeah,
you got him top 10.
I enjoy seeing them do well. I just, again, I don't really. I was shocked by so many people saying like, "What? Like, look at all they did in the offseason." Like, we know they made some moves. I just don't think they really moved the needle. But, and I'm basically, I was gonna say, I'm willing to put some money where my mouth is.
Wow. Okay.
If the Coyotes don't finish higher than the Canucks, I will buy a.
Why don't you put the carpet where your mouth is?
no.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm not licking any carpets.
All right, you'll buy what?
I'll buy an Elias Pettersson jersey and I'll wear it.
Oh, poor guy.
That sounds
Oh,
like
poor
that
guy.
sounds like
What
a reward than a punishment. I get to buy the jersey
just
of a
want-
really
yeah.
good hockey
Yeah.
Just
player.
buy the
Wow.
jersey if you want
I'll
it.
get- I'll
You don't
get-
need
And the
all-
Canucks have
yeah,
sick
that's
jerseys too.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
you're getting a
no.
great one for your collection.
Guy literally tried to have the best reverse
Wow.
retro.
Even the Canucks,
Thinks the
yeah.
Flying
Wow.
Skate's the greatest jersey in history. Like,
What a
what a
punch.
guy.
If the Canucks finish worse than the Coyotes, I will get Pristine Auctions to send me a signed Elias Pettersson jersey with the skate framed.
I don't have
and I'll
to pay
stick
for
in my
it.
basement.
Okay,
I'll
fine.
take it home.
I'll do it. Yeah, I will do that. I'll take a signed frame jersey.
Pristine
from the
worldwide.
Canucks.
No wonder they hate you, eh? Love their logo.
Oh yeah.
Love their logo. We'll wear it. Won't support their team.
Okay, well then what should I do as a punishment? I'm not licking the carpet.
Okay. You have to buy a reverse retro Tyler Myers jersey.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
That's pretty much what I
Oh,
said.
poor
No,
guy.
that's he might be off the team by the end of the year. So
Okay, well, who's worse than him? He's the
no,
worst,
Tyler
right?
Myers is like a you. That's like if you see someone in the
It'd be
street
funny
with
to
that
buy
jersey,
a
you're
Connor
like,
Garland one now.
no,
I would
you
like-
want it.
and he's
you
our
want
guy.
it.
I know, he's our guy, which
Yeah.
is
Oscar
fine.
Pullman.
That's a good one.
That's my guy.
Also,
So funny. No, because it's too funny again. 'Cause that's like kind of the Myers is just like you're just not gonna wear that.
Yeah.
It's a wasted purchase most likely. But anyways,
okay, I'll do Tyler Myers. Or
reverse retro.
within reason, if there's a comment here from a Canucks fan that suggests something that I should do, I'm also willing to accept that as an option. Again, if it's something insane.
I'll help you out in this. By the way, I'm changing entirely because the Adidas jerseys are too nice. I will find you a Tyler Myers Reebok Edge version of just a jersey, and you'll have that. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Terrible jersey. You won't
Terrible
wear it.
jersey.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse.
Okay, I was gonna do a different topic first, but I'm gonna present a different one, a new one to the table. Oh, I guess I only have two, right?
This is it.
You know what? I feel like I'd rather talk about this one. I was gonna talk about the Boston Bruins, but I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning for a second, and I don't know. Like, I'm not saying this, but like.
You literally are about to say whatever you're saying.
I think they'll be fine, but like
I don't like how you.
Yeah, what is it?
You gotta
Is
commit.
it-
to
commit to what you're
overreacting.
saying.
like
I'm not saying this.
But I am.
I think maybe
Literally.
people might be overreacting about the Lightning, but the Lightning have not looked good through 3 games.
Why can't you just say that?
Because okay, is it an overreaction? Okay, overreaction because I think it will end up being an overreaction. The Lightning will be a wild card team, and maybe
that's not that bad.
maybe not that.
Yeah.
Maybe like the way that they've looked. Can you imagine if the Lightning missed the playoffs? They have been downright bad. Like right now, we're seeing how valuable Vasilevsky is. Goalies do apparently matter more than we thought, my friend, and that goes for me too.
That definitely.
they play
goes for me,
hockey.
too.
And
Yeah, they
because,
play hockey.
Because the Lightning have been brutal, and defensively they've not been very good. They're allowing a ton of shots against, and they've allowed I think 14 goals through 3 games. Like even though the Lightning are a great offensive team themselves, I think they've scored 9 through 3 games, which isn't bad. They're leaking. Like they are bleeding goals against right now, and we need to see more. But like if this continues. In a strong Atlantic division against like the Senators who are now creeping in,
The Bruins, which you're
the
gonna,
Bruins-
that ties to your Bruins point.
It ties to the Bruins. The Bruins, they always find a way to be good.
No centers, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Pavel Zacha, James Van Riemsdyk.
Oh yeah, Van Riemsdyk's been good, right? And they also have, and the Bruins have amazing goaltending. Vasilevsky's such a bad loss for the Lightning. Like, for the first time, we're seeing, like, the Lightning. I don't know, they're looking a little flimsy out there.
Okay.
And also, I was gonna say about the Sabres earlier. I feel like every week I'm opening my phone. It's like the Sabres have locked down so and so to an 8-year deal.
I know.
The Sabres have locked down so and so.
It's the beginning of the season always. It's the beginning of the season.
It's crazy, and like I still think the future is so bright in Buffalo, but they have a lot of money tied down to a lot of different players.
Yeah, but like not a bad amount, and the cap will go up. But anyways,
Like, you're paying
Once you-
Dahlin. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think
keep your eyes on your salary, buddy.
The
I
11,
am.
the 11 mil to Dahlin is like, I love Dahlin, but that
That won't look that bad by the end of it. I just
he is one of
I
the-
would agree.
he's one of the best in the
in
league.
a
right?
year, I think it'll look fine.
You say keep your eye on your own salary. How about those Winnipeg Jets?
Not
bad.
We were so
Not
close.
bad. Scheifele has looked unreal this year. Hellebuck has not looked unreal this year, but he will look unreal eventually.
It was a gross overreaction of me to think that we were going to get through this without you mentioning him at least.
Where's Pac? Where's Pac?
Wait. Am I correct? I feel like the Jets might have the best expected goals differential in the league.
I think so. Were we saying that earlier?
At
before?
5-on-5, there's a stat they lead in. I don't know.
No,
it's expected goals percentage that they're first in.
Yeah, that's
they're
like
first in
it's
the
same
league.
thing,
Oh, it's
pretty
same
much,
thing.
yeah.
Well,
But
then,
the
yeah.
We've looked good.
Okay.
We looked really good against Calgary, and we looked good against Florida.
So the seventh thing we have overreacted to, all right, I guess the second one for me, I'm going back to Bedard here. I think people are overreacting with how much the ESPNs of the world and TNT and the NHL themselves are over marketing this guy. And I'll start it by saying this. The in-game interviews I totally agree with. Just because like from a production standpoint, and like literally we do that as our job sometimes, you really don't get a ton of value out of that stuff. So interviewing someone during a game, especially in hockey and sports where it's like tough, where it's just like you're breathing in between shifts, don't do it. I get it. And also as a young player who has to focus, what Hall said totally makes sense. As for everyone else glazing him and having all these extra camera angles on him and every single social account posting about him and having these like funny different, his first goal and then having like, the race with him and Gretzky, like, no, like you need all that. That's not for the hardcore fan. Like when you make a production, yes, you think about your hardcore fans, but you're also having to keep in mind everyone that you're trying to bring in. And when you have all of this hype around this young player, Corwin, you and I were talking about this. Hockey is really tough because you can spend your entire pregame talking about a guy, and it's kind of tough to even see for an average fan who doesn't really watch that much when he's even on the ice. Because it happens, the shift changes so quickly, and it's not the same as in the NBA or the NFL where you see that star player where it's like, boom, I can just focus on him actually in a moment of play. It's hard to do that in hockey, so you kind of got to pick your spots. So it's like the guy is going to be blockbuster. So, like, build him up, cover him, cut it out maybe with the in-game interviews just as a whole for anybody. But, like, everyone always says they don't market their players enough. They don't do enough. Come on, guys. Like, here it is. Yeah. Go in on the guy, and maybe it doesn't all fall on his shoulders, but cover the hell out of him so everyone outside of hockey gets to see what his special talent is.
Such a good point, too. And, like, especially other sports, too. Like, Wembanyama is, like, this hulk of a figure, stature-wise, too, that, like, you can't miss the guy at all. And NFL quarterbacks just have the ball all the time. Those are the star players. In hockey, like, he might not have the puck on his stick all the time, but the little things that he's doing, they're important to point out because it shows how good he is for the average person, like you said, that isn't watching just for goals or for assists and kind of base it off of that stuff when they're getting into hockey.
I get that the hardcores, like this is like a religion to you and you care about the results more than anything above any player in your club. But again, for everyone else who's not online doing this, like, it's entertainment because that's literally what this is. All of this is just about like, if someone's a star in a movie, they're going to go and show them more. They're on the posters. They get marketed the most. Just get rid of the in-game interviews.
I'd also just like, it's funny that like, if coming from the side of like, we are the media.
Yes.
And I like the one thing that people always like, some people understand it for sure. Some people always comment like, oh, why do we keep posting this guy or whatever? Like, these companies just follow what people like, what people engage with. Like pretty much everything we post about Connor Bedard on Instagram gets like minimum 30 to 40,000 likes. And, it's
And
like,
some of the stuff he's doing is also hilarious. Like him not signing the
Habs thing?
Habs jersey. Like, also just like, first of all, Bedard is a great personality and he's handled all the media attention like a damn
Very
champ.
well.
And he deserves, for being 18 and handling it the way he's handled it, to show the temperament that he has displayed, just like relaxed, very real, relatable. Kudos to him, honestly. Like he's done a great job. Sorry, Corn, I cut you off there.
no, we're pretty much saying the same thing. But I agree.
We all definitely have a bias, like being in media doing that, but it's just like, man, he's like special and you have to talk about him. Like you're lying to yourself if you're picking a guy in a third pairing, like on the worst team in the league where it's like, he needs more attention. It's just like, he'll have his day, but it's like, man, you got to sell it around the stars. That's just how it works.
And I don't even think like it's gone as far as we do sometimes with players. Like, cause like, I haven't really seen like a ton of like, warm up like videos of him and like, those other ones that like, with every player that we end up hyping, like when it was like Zegras and Caulfield, like and like we're just anything.
Any of the moves
warm-up,
you do
like
in
they
a
do a
warm-up.
Michigan in warm up. We're like, oh wow, what incredible hands! And it's like, yeah, it's probably a little bit much sometimes, but I think like most of the stuff for him has been pretty justified. And like, and I guess the one thing is that people keep like going crazy over moves he makes and doesn't score.
Yeah.
and then that's where people are like,
If you want-
maybe finish finish it.
The movie made on Klingberg yesterday, and that drive to the net was nuts. Also, I was gonna say, Luca brought up Wemby earlier. It's so funny how like the two new faces coming into the league of their sports.
Such different
One is 5'10", the other is 7'4".
and dribbles like he's 5'10".
Yeah. Like dribbles the ball higher than Connor Bedard.
He's entitled.
It's wild.
But anyways, we want to grow the game. Like you got to market the biggest players of it, not just 100 people. But anyways, Luca, your one. It's our last one.
It's a great point. Okay. Another spicier overreaction. No, maybe not as spicy, but maybe worry a little if you're the Carolina Hurricanes. Maybe it's an overreaction to worry a little, but the thing that gives me some pause is this team is always so good defensively, and through 3 games they've been uncharacteristically bad defensively. Second most defensive zone giveaways in hockey behind the Oilers, which like that just doesn't seem like the Hurricanes. Freddie Anderson and their goaltending has not been great. They've given up 14 goals through 3 games, gave up 6 to the Ducks. I know it was a back-to-back, like whatever. Those things kind of get corrected. But this is like the Stanley Cup favorite team that people have been hyping up all off season. Or like, this is finally Brendan Moore's year. This is finally the Hurricanes' time. They got Orlov in the off season and Michael Bunting and all these guys. And it's like,
That D'Angelo Orlov pairing's been tough.
it's been tough. It's been really
We
tough.
talked about that in our rankings about how great. I mean, again, it could still end up looking.
Absolutely, it can. And
Probably will.
I don't think it's any. That was my first point on my notes. Was just like, don't worry
They'll
too
still
much.
get
Like they're still gonna make the playoffs, I'm sure, barring something uncharacteristic. But this is something to keep an eye on if you're a Hurricanes fan, or if you're someone that's kind of trying to put stock into where these teams fall into the power rankings of the East. Because if the Hurricanes aren't that structured defensive team that we know them as, and they're getting into shootouts, I've already said I don't really think they're a shootout kind of team. They don't win in the playoffs that way, and they haven't been that regular season team. So maybe just worry a little bit if this continues to be a trend going forward, as opposed to just a little blip at the beginning of the season.
All right. Well, that brings us to our segment that we haven't done since Twitter got renamed, and we will not be renaming it because it just sounds better the way it is. Don't think, just tweet.
Just X.
Just X, bro.
Ew.
That's icky. That's icky.
Nah, it didn't sound good. Jesse, you're going to start us off here.
Yes.
Why do you think Chris Kreider will get more than the 24 goals that ESPN has allotted him? Just kidding. What's the best goal you've seen so far? And is it a Chris Kreider tip-in?
The best goal I've seen so far. Okay, I have it actually, for sure. The best goal of the year so far was Adam Lowry's pass to Mason Appleton, shorthanded, with the assist of the year from Josh Morrissey. Come on, that goal was unbelievable. Shorthanded, Lowry loses his stick. He's going
It's a long tweet.
They can be longer. You get the notification from X.
Read more.
Only 280 characters will show on the tweet, and then you can press show more,
There's
and it's
more.
good.
Okay.
That's a thread for sure. By
Yes. The fact that he was shorthanded, Lowry shorthanded, goes by the bench. Morrissey has the
sick.
foresight to be
Gives
like,
him
I'm gonna give him a twig. I can't remember if it
kicks
was
the puck up.
Was it Lowry's twig or was it Morrissey's twig that he gave? It may have been like
No, it wasn't his own stick.
it wasn't. Yeah, it must have been Morrissey's, is my guess. Gives him the stick, and Lowry, who's such a beast shorthanded, finds Appleton with it. It was just, I'm not kidding. It was one of the most remarkable goals we've seen since the Jets' return. I remember watching it being like, what the hell just happened? And we ended up winning 6-4. Like, it was a close game. So, to me, that was the goal of the year.
All right. Luka. Player.
Quote tweet. I still think Garland's was better.
Fair.
Patterson pass.
Well, that
And
Luke.
quick hands from Garland too.
Speaking of Pedersen, this might be on your mind for this one, Luke. But
Okay.
player from your top 25. Go watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. Player from your top 25 that you would already re-rank. That could be up or down.
Ooh, up or down?
Of course, I said the Pedersen thing because you had him the lowest, I think, like in the 20s.
Hughes / Patterson. They're both goats. That's my tweet.
Goats.
Yeah, they're so good, man. Hughes is unbelievable. Just watch him every single night. Banked it off.
Where did
banked
you
it
have
off
him?
of? Huh?
Where'd you have Hughes?
Oh, you mean?
I had
Oh,
him
he had
still-
22 as well.
Jack Hughes.
Yeah, not Quinn. No.
Can't be that nice.
Wow, why
Yeah,
does
what's
this guy
that?
hate
Can't be
Quinn?
that nice.
Everyone
to
hate
Canucks,
Quinn, but
apparently.
like Jack isn't like Quinn's not
No,
moving
yeah.
up my list. He wasn't even in my
Yeah,
top
yeah.
25. The goal that Jack Hughes scored off of who was the goalie that they faced? Off his head. Just banked it from below the goal line off his head and in. Unbelievable. Like he's electric to watch every night. And Pedersen's just insane. Like,
Both going up your list.
both going up my list. It's
Then who's going down?
the goalies. Like I had two goalies in the top 10. Like it's the easiest to move them down.
Who needs him other than us?
We're just in the best like time for hockey. I feel like we're at this point where every team for the most part has like one of these just star players that you can get excited about and that are really game changing.
Except the Seattle Kraken.
Except the Kraken.
You wanted,
Beniers is
you
awesome,
wanted
though.
Jared McCann in your top 25.
Yeah, almost instead of Sidney Crosby, which is
Crazy.
Moving along.
Get out of town.
All right, Corwin. Is Corwin's self-glazing going to be unreal when his first warehouse game drops? Because I remember the result of that game.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Would you guys say I don't think I hype myself up too much normally. So like,
Not normally,
We hyped
but
you up.
but I will say he was impressive in this. In case you didn't know, John Boy had us out, and we were at their floorball tournament, and with it being floorball, anything that you would have shot high over the glass, somehow you were just raining it into the net.
Wow.
This guy played well.
Now you're hyping me up too much. I feel like.
I'll
just
do
the
it
most
for you.
humble,
I'll do it
though.
for you.
Honestly,
The most.
I would quote tweet this and just say, "The bounces went my way." You know.
That's the
So
humble
humble.
answer right there.
So
So humble.
Yeah.
No,
Extremely humble.
you're awesome, man.
Thank you.
That's my
Thank
quote
you.
to you. You're awesome.
Thank you. All right, Jesse. Yeah, sorry. And yeah, of course, go check out the games. Yeah, they were fun to play in. And
It was a blast.
The
And,
production
like,
quality of them
it's
was like-
insane how they set it up. Yeah, it's like
I watched your first one yesterday, Z.
It was a rough first game. We'll go watch the other ones. Maybe it was a better.
no
performance.
Tough
Spoilers.
start.
No spoilers.
You decked. No, I can't.
Dangle?
Yeah, you decked him.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I think I knocked into him a little bit, and then immediately both was like, "Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry."
Great Canadian moment. I know those shoulders very well, though. You got heavy shoulders.
Yeah, these guys battle and they turn every part of our office into the corners. 'Cause
Oh,
they just
yeah,
battle with their shoulders.
Get me away from those shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice guy, by the way. That's why the apology took place. But anyways, okay, Jesse's our last one. The Blue Jackets gave Jonathan Quick a tribute video this weekend. Who would you demand your team go to retroactively and give a tribute video to?
This
And
is
of course,
fun.
we're talking legends.
Legend.
Wow.
This was fun.
Guy who's barely been on the team, but he deserved his tribute video. Maybe he never even played.
That's a really good question.
Can I give one for my team?
Sure, why not? Why don't you give him while he's thinking?
Shout out Andrew Hammond for stealing a game in Nashville.
The Hamburglar.
In that first kind of playoff series where the Avs were like getting decent. Absolutely stole one in Nashville. I'll never forget that moment.
All right, Corwin, do you have one? You must have 1,000 of them.
Well, yeah, but you go first. I'll go.
You might.
You know what? Shout out to Kyle Wellwood. Okay, I think I told you guys about this. How my friend made like a fake Kyle Wellwood Twitter account.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like Gary Lawless like quote tweeted him. Like people were like, "What's going on with Kyle Wellwood?" And he just kept going off on this fake Kyle Wellwood.
So much easier to fool people back then.
Oh yeah, even now,
but like
maybe even more now.
They've given you the tools.
Yeah, they have.
Verify any account.
Yeah, Kyle Wellwood, Winnipeg Jets legend.
Yeah, mine's got to be Kyle Wellwood, Leafs legend. No, if I was really gonna do one, it'd probably be as they call him in Calgary, Matty Franchise, Matt Stajan, because I have his signed jersey. That's my guy.
I remember that. Yeah.
Matt, stay on.
Yeah, Matt, stay on.
Stay on.
But yeah, Jared McCann, Jared Cowan.
Jerry McCann makes sense for you.
Callie Rosen.
Yeah, Olaf Kolzig.
Olaf.
Wow.
Whoa. That's like.
Kolzig's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's a real deep cut.
That's like almost a exact comp of the Jonathan Quick one. Cause
Yeah,
he
never
played a game for the Leafs, but
Wow.
They should give him his moment in the sun. One of these games coming up.
yeah.
All right. Well,
It is like you know how they did like the I don't know whose troops it is now. It used to be like Loop's troops for Joffrey Loop.
And the legend gives the jersey.
Legend,
and it's Olaf
it's
Kolzig.
Olaf Kolzig. Imagine.
be like, who the hell? Yeah. All right. Well, here's another podcast. We're definitely going to be hoping to do these.
Make sure to overreact in the comments.
Yeah, make sure to overreact to all of this Canucks slander, even though we really like the city of Vancouver. And I feel like most people in this room, other than Corwin, don't mind the team. Actually, that didn't sound like you liked them either.
Their underlying
What, you guys
stats
think
are
they're gonna be
wild.
good?
No, I don't think so.
I think
I
probably
their
would-
shooting percentage is 25. The next highest is like 12.
Yeah, you can overreact to
What
the
a great
comments.
team.
They've got the Bo Horvat going on right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, captain, my captain.
Wow.
If you're a Canucks fan, still like the video.
I think the Canucks are going to be battling for a playoff spot. Battling.
Wow, what an endorsement.
Battling.
Go
Gosh.
Coyotes, go.
I got
At
you,
least
Canucks
8
fans.
points out of a playoff.